When you look at Florida this week, first of all, there's a lot of familiarity with the coaching staff there. I've coached against Dan for a long time and very familiar with Todd Grantham. Christian Robinson was a GA for us at Georgia. You look at them, they're very well coached. Start with offensively. They are replacing some guys up front offensively, but they're doing a really nice job. Lost their quarterback probably this past week, but the backup come in there and done a really, really fine job, and probably to be expected, a guy that's been in the program for a while there, a lot of maturity. These guys have really good skill players, from tight ends to running backs to wide receivers. They spread the ball around. They'll hit you with RPOs. They're really stubborn when it comes to running the football. They've always done a very nice job running the football, being creative in how they do it, and they've got really good playmakers at wide receiver, so they can get the ball out there and they can hurt you with runs after the catch, screens, or throw the ball down the field. Defensively, Todd continues to do a really good job, very multiple up front. They're leading the country in sacks. Playing really well in the red area. It's not surprising. They got really good players at all three levels, got experience, they got depth. And then we look at them in the kicking game. Freddie Swain is a kick returner. Probably got the with their punter and field goal kicker and kickoff guy. Probably as good a combination as anybody in the conference. Got really good speed to play on teams. So we will definitely have our hands full. With that, I'll take any questions.
Steve, David, Blake.
Just from what you've been able to see, how are they different without Franks, with Trask in there at quarterback, from what you were able to see on film? And are you preparing for the likelihood of them maybe using two quarterbacks Saturday?
I mean, they ran their offense. Same plays, nothing different. Might even executed better, Obviously, they scored more points there in a short period of time, but as a guy that competed for the quarterback job, very talented, and has experience.
David and Blake.
Jeremy, what went into starting Kenneth over Alante on Saturday, and what do you foresee in that situation moving forward?
Well, we're just playing the guys who practice the best week in and week out. So, Kenneth practiced really good last week, and, whoever who practices the best this week will play this week.
Jeremy, will Bryce travel to Gainesville for that game? And then also, just what can you guys do on offense maybe to neutralize some of their pass rush you were talking about?
Well, first thing is we need to be able to run the football. If you can run the football and stay out of stay ahead of the sticks a little bit, so they can't pin their ears back and go. So we got to be able to run the football. We got to be creative, probably with different things and protections. Whether we're chipping or leaving the back end or something like that. And we've got to be efficient offensively. Got to get the ball out of our hand, know where we're going with the ball, and spread it around.
Will Bryce travel for the game?
I've not decided that.
Austin.
Coach Trey's a guy that hadn't had a lot of contact in fall camp. Now 3 games in, kind of where's he at and where you thought he would be, and what's he doing well for you guys?
Trey's playing really hard. Kind of the way we've kind of altered practice a little bit to help his development. So being really light on Mondays and Thursdays, and then on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, he doesn't participate. So, but just like anybody that's not getting to practice, he makes some mistakes out there. But the guy's playing hard, and continues to improve each week.
Coach, after watching the film, how did you evaluate what you got from the offensive line with putting K-Ron in at tackle and sliding Darnell inside the guard?
We're going to the right folks. We might not be taking the right path to get there, so to speak. So there's lots of things technically that we need to clean up. But the positive is there's very few mental errors.
Patrick and Gustavo.
Jeremy, how would you kind of evaluate where you guys are on the defensive line through 3 games, and what have you seen that you liked, and where do you want to see moving forward as you get into conference play?
You know, I think Aubrey Solomon's played really well. The rest of the guys, you could kind of put them in a group there, and you know, there's not much difference in them. We've really got to continue to improve up front, and we will. You know, most of those guys have very little playing experience, and if you look at them, a lot of the guys that we're playing, you know, we're not even here during the spring. So they're going to continue to improve, and they've got to improve, you know, to kind of reestablish the line of scrimmage a little bit. We've got to be better in pass rush, got to get more push up the middle, you know, so we just got to continue to work hard at that position.